All right, guys, welcome back to the West Coast Trios Wrestling Podcast. Today we'll be talking about the results from AEW's Double or Nothing. I am your host again. This is Tony. These are my tag team partners. Miguel, how are we doing today?
What's up, dog? Happy Memorial Day to all the United States veterans out there. We appreciate your service, and more than anything, to all the brothers and sisters that made the ultimate sacrifice so that every single person here can be enjoying what we do. We appreciate you guys. We love you. Big hug and kisses to you, your family, and big blessings.
And blessings to you, Miguel, because you are part of that brotherhood that nobody, the few of us really understand and experienced. And we thank you for your service, Miguel, for what you've done for us and keeping us safe and giving us this freedom of expression and what we do best, and as living life here in the good old US of A and talking about wrestling. So thank you, Miguel, for your service and a happy Memorial Day.
Oh yeah, man. Thank you guys. I appreciate that. I appreciate the love.
And our other tag team partner, Mondo. How we doing, Mondo?
Tired. What a great show. Got me a lot of beers, carne asada, rice, pico de gallo, all handmade, here with my wife and her family who stopped by. I did not move out of the couch. I literally plopped myself at 4, told my wife, hey, 4 p.m., boom, done. Got the fire started. They did all the cooking. That's how you take control of the household people. You let them know who's boss. Still love you,
There,
babe. Don't hurt me.
there you go. Again, we'll be just talking about AEW, and then we'll get back on track talking about our the other WWE, and then we'll be hinting on AAA as well on our next show. So in the meantime, Mondo, you said it was a big show. Well, anyway, it was a big show. It started off with buy-in. It was three matches on there on the card. Molly, want to run down the card right there for the.
Yeah, it was the first match, Divine Dominion versus Zeta Steel and Viva Van, who were accompanied by Christopher Daniels. And this match, we pretty much all decided, right? We all went with the Divine Dominion on this one because we got it right. The 5 minute eliminator match, but icing on the cake here for me was under a minute, and that's what happened. They won with 14 seconds left, or 15 seconds. It kind of like went back and forth on the clock there. But let's talk about this match, guys. I like the strategy going in. We saw Zeta Steel open up the match, and she was going outside the ring to have the timer count down. So at first, it was just like, hey, are we gonna get a match or not? But I did like the psychology there and the wit on that team where they were trying to run down the clock by going in and out of the ring at first. But then I believe it was Megan Bain, excuse me. Don't
How
want to
dare
mess
you?
up. Yeah, I know Miguel's gonna be like, man, I'm gonna beat that into you, Megan Bain. But I really enjoyed this match for what it was worth. The good old ring psychology there between all four ladies. Cannot stress enough Viva Van, man. Part of Ring of Honor, and so is Zeta Steel. They put on a show where Zeta Steel was the athleticism, Viva Van was the strength. But man, it was just not enough to pull that win against Divine Dominion. Miguel, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, first, yeah, great psychology, the whole time wasting, and then all of a sudden at the end, just the power of the Divine Dominion coming through and then regaining their belts with, as you stated, under 15 to come down to the wire. But overall, it was a great match.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. That opening segment with the crowd too. I was stunned because they opened the match so quickly. I thought they were gonna give some breathing room to do like talking points and then do the last maybe 30, 40 minutes of the pre-show dedicated to those three matches. But it just started right off the bang, which caught me off surprise because I was outside getting the grill ready. I'm like, okay, you know what? We're gonna see good old Mick Foley talking it up, and wasting our time. No, they just started the match. But this crowd, as I don't want to say it was half empty, but it was half full to capacity, and you can hear that they were very into this match. And that's a great talking point because throughout this pay-per-view, it just seemed that the crowd was just energetic from beginning all the way to the end. And give credit where credit is due with those four ladies going out there performing with a half full capacity crowd and still getting the ovation that they got. I mean, they popped when they were showing feats of strength and everything else in there. So kudos to the crowd putting this match over because yes, it was a lot of entertainment, but also that crowd elevated that first match. And not to take anything away from the rest of the card, but they elevated each and every match and it just kept on picking up steam. And that's always a great thing to see there with the crowds. And in New York, because they're pretty tough. They could have just been Nick fans just cheering for whatever, but I don't know. Good old Danhausen, you know?
Yeah, you got Chris them all. No, they stay on Chris. So good luck to the Knicks. And then the second match, Mondo, what was on the card right there?
So we had the Death Riders versus the Ops, and on this one, the only person who got this right on our predictions episode there was you, Tony. So you made the right pick. Miguel and myself, we chose the damn Ops. I thought they were going to take this one, to be honest. Miguel, fill us in on this match here.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. I thought the Ops were gonna come through, but somehow the Death Riders came through. I don't know how I missed that one.
Yeah, same here. I mean, this had just about everything. You had Shibata calling out Casanoli, Claudio. There we go. And there was such this huge pop of watching these two guys kind of face each other, but being a heel team that they are, I think it was Garcia who was in there, didn't allow for the tag, so people started booing. So that's also awesome, engaging the fans that way and just kind of teasing them for what they were going to see. But man, overall great spots. We had the I call it the train where they put the opponent into the corner and they just start doing their uppercut all in line in sequence. Excuse me. And then this match just all out fun. You had bits and pieces where Anthony Bowens, I thought, wow, he put in good work there. So did Hook. I was impressed with Hook, but I think Chibata was mainly in this one versus all the Death Riders. It felt to me, and yeah, for some odd reason, the Ops did not come out on this one. I was really high on the Ops, but Tony, you are 2 for 2 so far in the pre-show. Miguel and myself were 1 for 2 there. And then let's see, the last match for the pre-show was Shane Taylor Promotions versus Boom and Doom and the Conglomeration. And this one, wow. Let's just say a lot of fun, a lot of great spots. Not to take anything away from the match, but at the end, I don't know if you guys saw it, a really scary moment towards like at the finish of the match where I believe they were planning to do this crazy spot where they had QT Marshall at the top of the rope, and then I believe he was gonna do like a kind of flipping over and kind of grabbing onto the two Captain Shane and Bravo there, but for some odd reason, he jumped down to the floor. It looked like when he landed awkwardly, and after that, he was just grimacing in pain a bit, and then they just had to kind of do a preemptive finish there, and Boom and Doom and the Conglomeration get the win. But this had a lot of good fun spots with the Rizzler, his older brother, Harley Cameron, the Vita Coco mascot there. Overall, like I said, can't say enough about Shane Taylor Promotions and the infantry there. Always a lot of fun to see, and they just really mesh well together. It's just sad that the ending there, that's all I'm thinking about, is just the health and well-being of Cutie Marshall, and how that's going to pan out there because great wrestler. I just saw him on Ring of Honor this past Friday. Put up a good losing effort against Action Andretti. But yeah, this match had a lot of everything. So you had a good mix of women's wrestling, ground and pound, and an entertaining end to the pre-show there. And gotta say, Miguel, what were your thoughts on that last match there?
Yeah, it was a lot of great spots, like you mentioned. Some comedic, some entertainment, some others, pretty athletic spots. But yeah, we just hope that everything is good at the end for what could have been a disaster, but they avoided it. So
True. Yep. Yeah. Just the way if he would have, you know, attempted that finish, yeah, it would have been worse for everybody else. So big ups to QT just kind of keeping his head together and just say, hey, I'm not gonna put these guys at risk. I'm gonna do what I have to do to save them. You know, he has to get hurt, so
and
big ups to
and,
him.
and it happens, and and we say, oh, this is fake. People are going to say, oh, this is fake. And, there's a lot of risk. And these are, in a sense, these are wrestlers slash entertainers. And, they put their bodies on the line. Yes, there are risks. And you guys, since, Miguel, I keep going back to like when Mick Foley got thrown off the cage. Like, and you thought at the moment, hey, man, oh shit, did he just get killed? Like, stuff like that, little incidences where people know, like, in a sense, like, hey, things are gonna happen, and the ringside, being able to kind of see that happening, because I've seen videos on YouTube where Chris Jericho has saved several wrestlers from botching, right? And it, it things are going so quick. Things are going quick. And if it's a slip up, somebody gets hurt, or an injury that happens. But at the same time, people are really smart and they know, like you said, if people are bringing a mother, like you said, if he's taking care of everybody else and making sure nobody else gets hurt, that just goes to show the professionalism of wrestlers.
Going back to
Getting them
Miguel's
stuff.
point, he didn't want to hurt the other people, so yeah.
And so, I mean, we rarely see that, and it's like Miguel said, there's repetition. You gotta get your reps in, and shit happens sometimes, and they just gotta be ready to act on that, and some because I missed the first half. I missed that first hour of the show, so it sounded like he was. Did he take the bump, and then did he get hurt?
So basically, he was like at the top rope, and I believe it was like the conglomeration and Big Boom AJ, like kind of just waiting for him or so. So let's just say it's three people, and then they have him on their shoulders. So you got one of the infantry on one of the I think it was Roderick Strong. You had the other person on Mark Briscoe's shoulders. I'm trying to remember. But then they were like kind of like doing the doomsday device. I think that's what they were planning to do or something, but something along the lines where they were waiting on a spot too because both the Rizzler and the other brother came up and they squirted the infantry with the Vita Coco drinks, which was funny. But then I don't know, it maybe the ropes got wet and it kind of caused you can see QT just kind of maintain his balance and he's just kind of waiting for the spot, kind of like when Eddie Guerrero was waiting for his wife to come out, and he's dangling in the air like, "Come on, Big A, come on," shit. But yeah, so something must have happened where it was just the timing, and QT was like, "Dude, if I do this now, I'm gonna hurt myself. I'm gonna hurt them. That's something you don't want to see ever." And again, pointing out to what you said, Tony, Chris Jericho, he saved Adrian Neville's ankle, who's now known as Pac in AEW. Back when they were in WWE, he had uh, broken his ankle, and then they had to end the match quickly. Good communication, but you can see QT's like concern was like, okay, the spot's not going the way we want. I'm losing my balance. So instead of hurting them, I'm just gonna bail out, and we just see him jump. They always say it's about 15 feet from that top rope going down, but you can see when he landed, just immediately just grimacing in pain. And then when the match was over, he was just sitting down on a chair, just kind of like, hey, I'm not gonna put any weight on there. I'm just gonna sit down, just gonna make sure, we clear out the ring, and then you guys will take me to the back. But yeah, it just shows how much you put that trust in the other person because that is your body. You fall on your back, you
Yeah.
fall on your neck. I mean, you take guys like Mick Foley, Darby Allin, all these other hardcore wrestlers. It might not seem anything to you guys out at home, but when you go see this live, you can feel that. You can feel those, you know, quote unquote, those botches. I mean, we saw one firsthand when we went to GCW not too long ago, maybe a year or two ago, where there was this spot with I believe it was a door frame or something, and the guy jumps off the rope, and then for some reason
the ladder,
the ladder, yes, jumps off the ladder, and then because of the impact, or maybe because of the spring of where they were at on the center, door went sideways or right side up, and then the guy just landed like stomach first there. So pretty scary spot. We know he's doing okay, but you know, like you said, things happen in that ring that, you know, they cannot control. I mean, they can control their spots, but again, you're putting your body in the hands of other people to make sure you're safe. So that's always good to see that they are looking out for each other. And yeah, it's a big gamble when you go out there, and especially when you're um, you know, untrained. A lot of people are going to say, like you said, Tony, they're going to use that F word, not the other one, but fake. And it's like, you try taking a bump, you try falling on your back on a hard surface. Oh, they have a spring. Spring doesn't do anything. It's a 2x4 by 2x4 by 2x4. So you're landing on a hard surface. Some of these people, we know for a fact, when the late great China from WWE, she was getting trained, she fell on steel. She fell on concrete. I mean, Jesus. You know, it's like JR said, how do you learn to fall on a ladder? Like, you don't. It's just sometimes you just have to let it happen. But when these people are out there performing, let's just show a little bit more respect on their craft, because they put their bodies on the line, not only for themselves, but for us, the fans, as a whole. And Tony, just to finish off the pre-show, you are 3 for 3. Congratulations.
I love pre-shows. And yeah, I'll end that in a high note then. once we get into the main pay-per-view, Miguel, you saw the before we jump into that, what were your thoughts? This is like going back to GCW, and it was super crazy. Was it super crazy? Super crazy. I think it was. He was on the ladder and he jumped and against Mance Warner, and Mance was laying on the table or the chair spot, and you know, what were your thoughts on that, Miguel, when you first saw that spot happen in front of us?
Uh, Initially, I just thought he was gonna be hurt really bad because no one was holding the chair or the door. So I was like, okay, he's either gonna smack right through it but hard, or something else is gonna happen. And unfortunately, well, not even fortunately or unfortunately, but just the way it happened is, you know, he didn't smack anything. He just that door just happened to flip up and, you know, landed his stomach first. So I just initially thought, man, like he for sure has broken ribs or, you know, something in his stomach. But the fact that he was able to walk and just with a mere limp, I was like, okay, you know, because you should know your body more than anyone in life. So when he was able to walk, I was like, man, yeah, he's gonna be sore, but okay, he got himself, you know, because if he truly couldn't, then I'm sure he probably would have called a medic or something, you know, and lo and behold, maybe I think it was like a week or 2 weeks later on social media, there he is wrestling in his own event. So, so all, you know, all was good, but yeah, it was crazy.
And it was also crazy because he also landed on top of his head because the momentum took him, and you know, we kind of, you know, we kind of laugh at stuff like that from time
Yeah,
to
but
time,
man,
but
damn, it's just the
holy
way
shit
the
when it
way it
happened, we're
looked,
like,
like Jesus.
yeah, I was like, holy shit. And yeah, like you said, Miguel, it was glad we were glad that he was able to get up and walk around, and it just goes to show the testament of who and what they do for a living, and we can't say thank you enough to all of them for what they do, whether it be in an independent scene, whether it be in like AAA, CMML, or a Ring of Honor, and you know, TNA, and then up to WWE and AEW. There's a lot of what they do, and we appreciate every single wrestler out there for their sacrifices as well. So that was a nice of a conversation there. Going into Double or Nothing. Wow, what a this time I'm in now. I'm all in, so to speak. Double or Nothing crowd was amazing from start to finish. Mother, you said it from the beginning. They just started off hot and it just kept on going hot because of what they witnessed. We saw the first match being the tag team of Cope and Christian Cage versus FTR for the AEW Tag Team Championship. Miguel, what stood out from this match, dude? What did you see that made you pop, and what did you think that their chemistry was in that match?
I personally thought FTR was gonna take it. But I just think one of the things that stood out to me out of the whole match was right at the beginning of the match when Cope came and stand next to Cage and he just kind of looked at him. I thought it was, you could read it either way. It was either kind of like, oh, hey, this is our last, match as a tag
Yep.
team to just finish our careers and call it, or this is okay, let's soak it in because this is our last one, but as a tag team together. And so it ended up being, the second choice of what I had thought. But yeah, I just thought my favorite moment was that beginning moment where they kind of looked at each other and just kind of trying to figure it out, kind of not them but us trying to figure it out, like, damn, what does that mean? So that was my favorite moment.
Nice. And then obviously we have the and it's always with Jericho and Cope. They play the music, they stop it, and then they still serenade and they sing. And that was one of my like highlights of who AEW's wrestling fans are. They'll sing and serenade them. Same goes when WWE goes into like international, and then or maybe a big WrestleMania event because of those international fans. They'll serenade the wrestlers as well, and I think that's so cool that the crowd there did the same thing for Cope. Mondo, like, what did you see that made you pop? What made you feel like, oh man, this is gonna be their night?
Um, when I heard the crowd, like you said, just singing Cope's theme song and the energy, and just like going back to Miguel's point, and just him looking at the crowd, soaking it in for a minute there, I'm like, ah, crap, this might be the actual last time we see them both as a tag team, because it looked like Cope just was like, man, this is, and it also got to me emotionally. I was like, damn, I hope, it's like this isn't the last time. And I was like, oh shit, they may end up losing. They're gonna lose because just the whole fact when they were doing that, and it was just like him just kind of holding it in, and you can see in his facial expression like, man, this is gonna be a hard one to swallow. And then when Christian came out, my father, and gotta reemphasize my uncle there, uh, he comes out and they were on the top rope and they're kind of like hanging and they're just kind of like looking at each other. And that, right now, just thinking about that gave me goosebumps because I'm like, oh crap, this is this going to be the end? Are we seeing the last of these two as a tag team? And yeah, that really got me there. But overall, this match just had about a little bit of everything, like you said, Tony. It was and Miguel. It's just really entertaining, very gripping, and had a lot of funny moments there with Christian Cage when they were trying to force him to say "I quit," and then I think he's like, "I banged your mother,"
Yeah.
and the
I,
crowd
I
started going into it. It's like, yeah, he banged your mom, or he banged. I couldn't hear them too well, but yeah, it was just. It was one of those things where it was just like, man, every move, every hold, you're hoping they don't quit, and I think that's the great psychology that they began with in that ring, just kind of forcing the audience, so to speak, just to make us feel that this could be the last time we see them, and just great spots overall. We did have Adam Copeland's wife come down, Beth Phoenix. That was a really good highlight there, but scary moment when she did come out. Not sure who pushed her into the steel steps.
oh yeah.
Holy crap! Again, these people, how the hell do you learn to fall on the ladder, or take some steps? Sometimes they don't do these things often, so it's like on the fly kind of spots, as they call them. She got pushed super hard into those steel steps, and I just felt like she either to me on my end, I feel like either she hit her throat area or just came off hard on her chest. But man, that was kind of, for me, that was really hard to watch. After everything else that happened, that spot right there was hard for me to watch because it was just like, holy crap, I hope she's okay. But she did manage to pull through and assist Cajun Cope there. But were there any other moments that like caught your attention and kind of not only made you laugh, but just kind of like, whoa, this was like
Uh, I
one
was
of
gonna
these
pose a
spots.
question. Yeah, I was gonna pose a question to Miguel. Where they did this burning table spot. A little hardcore action overall. What were your thought process when you saw that being put together, Miguel, with that spot?
More than anything, just again, just safety, right? I mean, it's not just them. Now you got people, the front row people, right involved, and so you just wanted to make sure everything went right. But glad to see that when the spot happened and everything happened, everything went well.
Yeah, it reminded me more of. I think I mentioned it. I think we were texting each other. At least I hope I sent it out. It reminded me of WrestleMania 22. I want to say it was a hardcore match between Mick Foley and Adam Copeland, Edge in WWE. And I think they had. Oh, was no. I'm sorry. I am no. It was Randy Orton. It was Randy
Randy
Orton
Orton.
and I think it was Randy Orton and Mick Foley. Sorry, there you go. It was Randy Orton and Mick Foley, and they had their own hardcore match, and then they had a table spot. I believe it was WrestleMania 22, and they had the flaming table spot, and I believe there's some kind of spear going on there. Correct me if I'm wrong. Please go back. Please, oh, there it is. Please go back and let me know, because I might be wrong. It's either Edge or Mick Foley or Randy Orton versus Mick Foley. I might have been right the first time around, but let me know, like and subscribe, let me know, and then we'll find out, or Armando, maybe you could probably put something there. But overall, I thought that was a great match. I thought it was fun. We talked about that a long time ago, Mondo. We grew up and we were like, hey, Edge and Christian, we were both on them. And yeah, they had the barbed wire spots in the beginning of the match, like you said, Miguel. Very, very fun. And there's a lot of history between Cage and Cope, and it's fun to see that they won the titles, and then hopefully they go into All In in the next pay-per-view, and or might be even Forbidden Door for that matter, where they can you know keep going or drop the belts. But it was a feel good moment. I loved it. I had a great time with that match, and a great way to start or kick off the pay-per-view. Going over to Okada versus Takeshita. Um, wow, very hardcore, very strong style, so to speak. Miguel, what were your takeaways on this match?
Very physical, like you said, very strong style. I enjoyed the match. It was a great matchup, very entertaining. The crowd was already going anyways, but just the energy carried onto this match. But very good match overall.
There's a lot of determination out of both individuals, Mondo. Again, we say strong style, and hopefully, with a very busy weekend, hopefully some of you guys out there got the chance to at least look up New Japan and figure out that they do what it's called hardstyle type of wrestling matches out there. But we saw that happen, right, over the weekend.
Yeah, very stiff, very high competitive matchup between these two. I'm gonna say it, they both feel like they got to be the alphas in the Don Callis family. Very uncharacteristic, like with Don Callis, just kind of telling Okada not to do the what was it, like a spike pile driver or a suplex out on the ring there, ring apron area, and there were things that kind of made me feel like, oh, we're seeing and again, speaking too soon, a new Don Callis. He wants the safety of Takeshita. It looks like he's caring for his wrestlers. His stable, a stable which is a group of people under like one manager or a group, and throughout the match we see both of them just going all out, very back and forth. The crowd was very into this, and the things that stood out in the match were like the exploder suplexes by freaking Kenosuke Takeshita. You also had Okada just throwing out his offense. Again, such a great match, and like I said, this was gonna be one of those top matches that was gonna be hard to beat. But I think just up and down that card, I think everything was same level because every match, including this one, just kept me uh, glued to my couch. Not that I wasn't going to move anywhere, but I just stayed glued, very invested in this match. And again, I thought Don Callis, like, hey, man, he didn't do anything. And then the crowd goes after him, F Don Callis. I'm like, well, what the hell? We were discussing this. He just sat down. And Miguel's like, he didn't do anything wrong this time around, And me too. Like, throughout the match, I was thinking, they're, turning a new leaf, so to speak, doing the right thing. But again, I spoke too soon. What was the outcome, Tony? What the heck did we get?
We got a new champion.
Yes, we did. And then on that note, my friends, Miguel and myself, we got that right. Tony, you were wrong. You actually picked Okada to win that.
I did, because I thought with the Rainmaker, we had the lot of back and forth there at the end of the match, and it could have gone both ways. Both of them executed their moves perfectly, and we got some surprise finishers where Takeshita took Rainmaker's finisher, and we thought he was going to beat him with that, but then he ended up doing the corkscrew was it backflip or backflip, I'm sorry, body slam. He has his name, I'm sorry, that's the name, that's his finisher, Takeshita's finisher, and it looked very devastating when he dropped it on
Blue
him.
Thunderbomb?
Was it? No, it wasn't the Blue Thunderbomb. It was the other one. It's the other one. He gets the first
with the heck.
Yeah, it was the suplex, and then he like twists. I don't know if you saw that, Miguel, too. He does the twist, and then he just like brings him down on his side, and then that's where he got the 1, 2, 3. And I'm like, oh shit, like
like the Falcon Arrow kind of.
Yeah, it was something similar to that. And I thought, I personally haven't seen that move done, and I've because I haven't really seen that part of Takeshita, but then I saw that, and I'm like, holy shit, that was a pretty devastating move, and I mean, that's how we got the 1, 2, 3, and I was like, damn, that's when I feel. That's when I realized I lost that prediction there. So, but kudos to you guys. Miguel, I want to get your thoughts on what happened afterwards. We saw his best friend come out, Takeshita's friend, Kyle Fletcher.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it was time, right, that the family or all those alphas had to start choosing sides or kind of start picking their own path. And yeah, I mean, it's clear that Champ is going to be on his own and kind of doing his own thing. So the Don Callis family set their foot down pretty good.
Yeah, I popped when the Protostar came out, man. I was just like, shit, I was not expecting that at all. And when he came down to the ring, I'm like, all right. I think he's going to be with Takeshita there, and for that brief moment, we see them, hugging it out after, the Protostar clears the ring of the Don Callis family, which included not only himself, Okada, Mark Davis, and Rocky Romero. I was just like, what's Rocky doing there? And I thought we were going to get something where the dissension of the family, we're going to have sides being chosen. And then, the quote unquote dick move by the Protostar there, clotheslining Takeshita after raising his arm. And man, did the crowd ever turn on the Protostar after that one? He just got showered with booze. And very interesting, though, when Protostar picked up the belt and Okada grabbed it. And then we had like a stare down, like, holy crap. And it goes back to Miguel's point, like, what is going to go on with the Don Callis family now? Because now you got Okada, kind of beefing with the Protostar. So Don Callis, you got to get your family in order. You got to tell them, hey, you're good enough for this belt. You're good enough for that belt. Because I do want to see a stable where they have entire control of AEW and their championships. And I've always been a big advocate of that for the Don Callis family since day one when they were getting all these championships. But now everybody is just seems like there's jealousy when it comes to these title belts, and it's like I gotta have what you have, and vice versa. So a lot to take in there, and let's see where they go from there with the storyline. but definitely we are definitely going to see Protostar versus Takeshita, and what I feel is going to be the match of the year because those guys are going to go all out, and that'll be my prediction when we see them down the line. Maybe all in, but Protostar versus Takeshita. I'm saying it right now, guys. My prediction for 2026 will be the match of the year.
Okay, sounds good. Up next, we got John Moxley versus Kyle O'Reilly. I like the psychology. Oh no, hold up, sorry. No, I think it was Mina Shirakawa,
Yep.
right? Sorry.
Always
Oh
trying
no,
to,
yeah, Mina
yeah,
Shirakawa versus
always
Athena.
trying to get rid of my forever champion there, Tony. What is wrong with you?
Sorry. This was the women's Owen Hart quarterfinal. I love Mina Shirakawa on this one, but then eventually she did not win this. I'm at a loss for words when I say that. Holy crap, I love her entrance, but then I'm at a loss for words because she lost the match too. Miguel, what did you see in this match that made you pop?
Yeah, I'm with you. Probably my favorite thing of her is just always her energy and her.
Yeah.
I love the way she just comes out and does her thing, and it's probably one of my favorite things about her. And like you, I just feel just gutted that she didn't get her big win, but I know her time is coming, so I'm looking forward to that.
Her time will come, just not today, fellas. I got that pick right. Athena, your forever Ring of Honor champion. Great match, selling the leg there, the left knee. Mina Shirakawa looked like she had control of the match throughout. But again, her craftiness, her ability to turn the tables, so to speak. Athena gets the win on this one. Is very entertaining. And yes, I do agree, guys. Mina is so over with the crowd. I mean, when she came out doing, man, her mm, mm, mm. Oh, sorry, I was just thinking about her doing her little dance there. Oh yeah, very huge with the crowd, and yeah, it's her time will come, but not today, fellas. Sorry, had to burst Mina's bubble there. But your winner, Athena, in this one.
Good luck to Athena on the next round. Moving on to John Moxley versus Kyle O'Reilly at singles match
We
for
don't
the
have to talk
Continental
about this, right?
Championship. That one, I was gonna say that one had really good ring psychology there in terms of Kyle O'Reilly getting hurt, trying to do his kicks. Miguel, this is one of your least favorite, I want to say, maybe conglomeration people out there. But the way he put himself out there versus John Moxley, what were your takeaways from this match, and what what stood out?
I think one of the things that stood out just overall wasn't really anything that they did in particular in the ring. It was just more so overall the match that they were able to have, despite that they had pretty much no holds barred kind of hardcore match during the week. So the fact that they were able to come on and then put on another storytelling match just tells a lot more than beyond their wrestling, what they're able and capable of doing. So my favorite part just absolutely has to be both of their mindsets and how they were able to come and just rock the crowd.
Great match overall. I mean, like you said, Tony, there was like a lot of selling points there with Kyle O'Reilly's foot. Um, John Moxley at the end, showing respect to Kyle and shaking hands, which I thought was like the highlight of that match was just the sign of respect there. And, you know, may not be Miguel's favorite, but I think down the line we will see Kyle either get a championship, a solos championship there with AEW. Um, Very good looking young stud. With everything that's going on with him, with his, if you may or may not know, but with his, I believe it's type 2 diabetes that was holding him down a bit for a while there. But just coming back after that and putting on a good outing. And again, mat-based technical wrestling, if you're into that, which I am. I love seeing great mat wrestling, and we did get something there, and just a little bit of everything, even strong style, kind of stiff stiff work between both men. And yeah, just at the end, again, going back to that, the whole handshake, show of respect, and it was just John Moxley controlling the Death Riders for not, getting a little rowdy or rambunctious. So they're listening to him. And the same with the conglomeration. They went out to show support. So overall, good match. And yeah, we all had Mox winning this one. So we're good on that.
Yeah, I was a little happy that Mox won that one too, because I think to Miguel's point, like you kind of, it was kind of the writing on the wall there when we just saw another match up within like what 3 days, 4 days. So good win for Moxley on that one there. Will Ospreay versus Samoa Joe. I was very very happy to see this match come about. Samoa Joe just being Samoa Joe, very very vicious. And Will Ospreay is trying to match that. In the beginning of the match, we saw him out of nowhere give him the cut. Was it the cutter? There, and then just wanted to make sure, hey, he set the tone throughout the match against Samoa Joe. Miguel, is there anything that stood out that you saw that, hey, this is what made Will Ospreay just go out on top?
Just as his quick start, we don't normally see him start as quick as he did or try to do his finisher, but it is Joe, and Joe's not used to any quickness. So again, for me, it was just more the mentality of Will Ospreay is what won for me, and how his mind games started before the bell even rang, and what he was going to do or trying to do, and catching him off guard, so I just felt he was just a little bit more sharper within those mind games.
Oh, 100% agree. I think that he came out with a plan, and he executed to the best of his abilities. Joe got in a couple of licks in there where when Osprey, Joe does this walk away move every single time. So you saw Will Osprey trying to do the cutter, and he's like, "What the hell?" And he just fell out. And you see Joe's like, "Let me go after you." And one of the biggest spots, Mondo, maybe if you can, if you want to elaborate, he did the Styles Clash on.
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude! He just picked them up like nothing, and I was surprised he did that on him.
I got that on my notes there, that this match was like hard hitting, like you guys said. But yeah, the freaking Styles Clash, I have that on my notes. I was like, a scary moment. It looked like he was just gonna fall on his head, but like
He caught him.
he caught him. But that
Or he
shows
like adjusted.
yeah, but it just shows the strength that Will Ospreay demonstrates. You don't see it a lot, and I was surprised that he even managed to pull that off on a big guy like Samoa Joe. So yeah, I marked out on that one. I'm all yelling and screaming like, "Oh shit! Did you see that? Like, goddamn!" And I'm just talking to myself at this point. My son's right there on the side. But yeah, what an amazing match! You got Joe doing his thing. But yes, going back to what you guys talked about, Will Ospreay came in with a plan and he executed to a T. And great spots, especially that Styles Clash. And yeah, what else can you say about this? But it was one of his dream matches, and we got that, and it showed. So Will Ospreay getting the victory there. And again, guys, we picked Will Ospreay, so we're good on that pick. But yeah, such an amazing match. Again, this is for the most part my pick to win the entire tournament this year.
Awesome. And then going on to the next match is Swerve Strickland versus Bandido. Another Owen Hart and quarterfinal matchup there. I don't know if you guys noticed the little subtle homage to Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
When Swerve came out, he had the red jacket. He did the beat it. So I was like, hey man, this is pretty cool. He comes out to that. Obviously, we're not doing that anymore at the moment.
We're
but
moonwalking
I
or
could homage
something
to Michael Jackson there. And then Bandito, like again, when it comes to ring psychology, you're telling the story, right? So he had that neck injury there. From my understanding, or at least where Swerve was picking him up and kind of probably some what it looked like, if I remember correctly, was like a corner buckle bomb, I think, or he kind of had him up and he kind of threw him up against the corner there, and then he started grabbing his neck, and then there's other situations there where Jesus, we had her piranhas like from both Strickland and from Bandito. One of the ones that I thought was very memorable was the backwards Hurricanrana from Bandito on Swerve Strickland from the apron onto the floor. That was one of the. I was like, holy crap, that caught me off guard. But Miguel, what else stood out in that match between both Swerve Strickland and Bandito for you?
You probably said it best for me. I think one of the psychologies of Bandito and what he was able to do, to Swerve. Swerve came on top, but I just like the psychology of what Bandito brought to the table.
Yeah, he for being the Ring of Honor champion, I really wanted him to get his like what you say, Miguel, most of the time, get his roses on there, and I think he was given a good platform to be handed that, and I think he took full advantage, albeit being on the losing end, because Swerve was very aggressive. He was, and he had that spot when he was standing on when he stood up on Bandito's shoulders there. I don't know if you remember seeing that he was on his shoulders and he did the kick on there, and then he I
Went
think
to
he
the
did a
top rope.
splash. Yeah, he went to the top rope, and I think he did a splash there. What did you see on that match overall?
Overall, I saw a great storytelling, like you said, Tony. When Swerve came out with the looking like Michael Jackson, then don't forget Bandito, true to his heritage, came out like a mariachi there with his sombrero, the jacket, the pants. Loved it. Loved every single element of that. But going back to your point there with the neck injury, yeah, he sold it well, and that was a big topic in the match that um, can Bandito overcome this neck injury because he was just shaking and shivering every time he would pull off a move, and it was just like, man, um, is Swerve going to take advantage of that? And yeah, he kept attacking that neck area, the head of Bandito, and one of my biggest takeaways and memorable moments was the 21 Guns picking up Swerve Strickland from the ground, where he, usually they're on the second rope, kind of like insinuating the 619. That way, viewers can or listeners can understand what I'm trying to
Yeah, he's just hanging in there.
describe. He's just hanging there, and then he'll bounce off the ropes. He'll do like this, this yeah, that on the guy's back, comes back, and then he does this suplex. But he picked up Swerve from the floor. That just shows the kind of strength Bandito has, and we did see it in full display in this match. And not taking anything from him, but man, Bandito is just one of those wrestlers that can put it all together: speed, strength, athleticism. He's like the total package. But tonight, guys, I believe we had Swerve on this one, and we did. It was a full sweep. Swerve in a hard fought battle, I think it was, came out on top, and we'll see where this goes. To be honest with you guys, for the Hart Foundation tournament, Owen Hart Foundation tournament here, I think we're going to be seeing Swerve and the Billy Goat, Will Ospreay, in the finals. If I'm trying to remember the brackets, because that'll be a good finals match there. And if I'm right, then I'm hoping that we get that. But yeah, what an amazing match! Phew, hope Bandito, comes back from this one because he's very entertaining, and Miguel put it correctly. It's like I want to see him back with Bandito there with Brody King, and maybe they can go after tag team gold again, because hard to put those two guys down, and it sucks that they both suffered losses to the same person, Swerve Strickland. So we'll see where the storyline goes from there, and best of luck to the winners, Swerve Strickland there, and Prince Nana. I said winners.
All good. Speaking of winners, we had a winner come out of this four-way with the women. Tekla came out on top. I really thought Sheeta was gonna
Yeah.
win this one. I really felt that she again did some moves in there that made it seem like she was about to win this crap. She came out with the kendo stick, for God's sakes, and bashed people on top of the head. Miguel, were you as disappointed as I was?
Yeah, I wanted Sheeta to win, but unfortunately she didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was at a loss for words. I was just thinking like, hey, this would be a good time to um, hand over the title to someone else. Um, you know, but Tekla managed to find a way yet again when the odds are stacked against her, and it was just one of those things where the ladies and especially Sheeta, she just like you said, Tony, one of the staples in the women's division, putting everything there. Again, if you were to go back and watch this match from beginning to end, everybody had great moments there, but I think Sheeta really stood out in this one. And then I believe Jamie Hayter also stood out in this one. And I felt like it could have gone either way, Jamie Hayter or Hikaru Shida. But again, Tekla found a way, and still your AEW's Women's World Champion, Tekla. And we got that one wrong, guys. Damn it.
yeah,
That one stung a bit. Nah, no pun intended.
from Toxic Spider.
Yeah.
All good, and good luck to whatever her story goes. And I'm pretty sure we won't hear the last of Sheeta and the rest of the ladies here in AEW. For Stadium Stampede, Maldo, you've been climbing at the bit here and getting excited for this match. Did it deliver?
Delivered more ways than one. I'm always amazed, like when they do these stadium stampedes, there's always something added to elevate the excitement, the entertaining aspects of this type of match. Just the opening segments where you had the intros to each team. You had the Don Callis family arriving in a limo. You had Andrade taking off his mask, and then you had the dogs. What were they driving? Correct me if I'm wrong. They were just driving like a Cadillac or something. Because I do recall that the Demand. I think they were in a truck. Again, the beers are getting to me. Hazy, but overall great entrance. The one that really stuck to me was the Elite, Jericho, and the Hurt Syndicate there. Their entrance. I'm so old school, guys. I'm gonna show my age here. It just reminded me of like an introduction to like the movie Reservoir Dogs. They didn't have their names. I really wish they would have stuck to that platform, but just the stills, and then you had colored background. You had Shelton silhouette with his name, and then you had for each and every member. And I think the funny part was Kenny Omega smoking this big old cigar, and then they're like, yeah, looking cool, like, yeah, Kenny, you got this, bro. And then they go cut back to Kenny Omega, who's just coughing because he doesn't know how to smoke or whatever, or do that. And I just started laughing. It was just, I mean, right there, if it doesn't tell you where this type of match is going, then man, you're in for a surprise, because they had so many great spots, just amazing fun. You guys may not like it, but I did enjoy the spot where and I'm gonna say it, Leo Rush. It's fine. It's fine, Miguel and Tony. It's fine. He showed up there, Bobby Lashley kind of looking at him. And again, I think they were supposed to go through the door because Leone, I believe, or the other gentleman from Gates of Agony, uh, just got assaulted by a little Leo Rush there. And I think we were supposed to see a spear, but I guess the doors didn't budge, so they just kind of cut and continued the action. But this thing was just a lot of fun. They went into the crowd. I mean, Jack Perry almost killed a guy. Running the bus over, trying to trying to get rid of Mark Davis in one way or another. But so many things happened throughout this match. I mean, I don't want to take out too much time from you guys, but like, those were my highlights. What were your highlights on that, guys? Just elaborate more there because this was so much fun, beginning to end.
I think for me it was everybody had their own spot. Everybody was fighting outside. We had Andrade doing the Three Amigos in the middle of the ring. Again, executed to perfection. And then sticking with Andrade, he one of those spots that made me laugh. There's all this. Everybody's getting beat up. Everybody's getting thrown on shopping carts. Everybody's going through eventually on through tables. But then he had the time to get his picture taken. And lo and behold, here comes Luchasaurus in a wig, and he was like kind of taunting him there for a minute. And Kenny Omega held them, and I guess he got away, went back to Luchasaurus, and Luchasaurus spat in his face and blinded him for a second there. They had some probably, if you guys don't touch up on it, I'll probably jump back in. But they were fighting backstage, and Chris Jericho and Ricochet, they had each other. They both had rackets. Jericho's getting his ass whooped. And then all of a sudden, here comes Luther, or he opens the door. Luther is there, and he hands him a big giant racket, and he beat the crap out of Ricochet with it. And then he turned on the machine. And then the tennis balls were kind of going at him, and near fall because Jericho did put the pin, but he got a 2 count out of that one. So again, you have to get the pin in the middle of the, or not in the middle of the ring, but at least you get a 3 count to win the match. But it was good seeing an attempt happen during that match outside the ring there. And they had backstage fights as well. They had the big dude out there. What was his name? Singh.
Satnam Singh. Yep.
Satnam Singh. Just it's like, what are you, kind of the Andre the Giant, what are you doing? Type of thing. And yeah, he got himself involved. The Young Bucks fighting was it the Dogs out at the concession stand, which I thought was weird because we went, after we saw the pay-per-view, we got excited, as everybody does, and I went out to the shop, and then I saw that the wrestling belts, the AEW title, was sold out. But what does Matt use to hit one of the Dogs? It was a freaking wrestling belt.
Yeah.
It was the like what how are you telling me that you guys are sold out, but then you have them at the event? Make it make sense.
They even had, I think they actually had other belts too, like in the background.
So, but he grabbed
He grabbed
the
the
AEW title
AEW
belt.
title.
I'm like, make it make sense, guys. Miguel, what spots that you felt like stood out to you, buddy?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of great spots, in this match, lots to talk about, but probably just one of my favorite things was the beginning, and how cinematic each team, I guess, had, and how they were able to tie that and kind of kick it off and let the audience know, yeah, we're at a wrestling show, but this is about to be a movie.
Yep.
I thought that was pretty genius of uh I guess the marketing or whoever was taking care of that for this type of matchup. But yeah, that was probably absolutely one of my favorite things, and how they were able to highlight each character in their entrance. So I love that.
There was a spot there, near the end of the match where everybody went through a table. Everybody was suplexed in there, or somebody dove. I don't know if you saw at the corner where Chris Jericho jumped off.
He bounced off.
He bounced off. But then again, after the match, he gave homage to
Sabu.
the one Sabu. And he made sure that table got broken. So he went to the table and he paid homage, even though it was supposed to break earlier in the match. But still a good nod to the hardcore legend Sabu there by Chris Jericho. Mondo, we were 3 for 3 on this one, or we were all
no.
What?
I went with my boy Ricochet. It was 2 for 1. Both me and Miguel got that one. Yeah, Stadium Stampede. I was hoping the heels, but then again, I should have went to that stat where the Elite, I believe they are currently undefeated, but I'll double check on that if with Stadium Stampedes, or I think they lost one with Daniel Bryan, but for the most part, they have a high winning percentage every time they're involved in those.
And they all did the super kick at the end,
Yep.
right? All at the same time. Again, one of those memorable spots.
Toa Leone, there we go. I got that mixed up.
Overall, like it was maddening. It was cinematic, and at the same time, it just everybody.
Bishop Khan.
Huh?
Bishop Khan. There we go.
Bishop
He was the
Khan?
one in the middle.
Oh,
'Cause I
okay.
believe
okay.
Ricochet was thrown out by Toa Leone, and then Bishop Khan saved him from taking the super kick. So that was good to see. Good camaraderie right there, even though
It was
came
a
in
super
demand.
kick party.
Yeah, super kick party. 7 ways.
7 ways to Brooklyn. So great match there, like you said, Mondo. This Stadium Stampede delivered really well, and then we are on to the main event between Darby Allin and MJF. I think I said Darby Allin on this one.
Yeah, we both did on that one. Miguel, the lone warrior there, got it right with the MJF. Man, what do you guys think? Ended the story too soon, Tony?
I think for this one, no. Again, the psychology. We saw Darby Allin get his he got some offense in there, but at the same time, he was taking a lot of punishment. He got busted open, right? And during the near the end of the match, you saw him putting on the Scorpion Deathlock, and again, we saw this in Dynamite where he kind of collapsed in the middle of the ring. We finally caught up to him. Again, nothing will be taken away from Darby Allin as being one of the fighting champion, but MJF did take advantage of the situation, and but MJF wins again. There's nothing too bad to say about it because the MJF equals money, and I think it was a nice business decision there. I know he's going to be doing more movies regardless. So I think Darby Allin had a really good run, and I think they could probably get another rematch soon. But this time around, I think MJF was better prepared, so to speak, facing Darby Allin the second time around, not being caught off guard.
Yeah, I believe so true. But I'm like 50-50 torn. I did want to see another person be bald and join my club here, but that's not going to happen. Darby went all out in this one too. So did MJF. Doing things uncharacteristic like coming from MJF, getting a little bit hardcore there, so to speak, and taking that big spot there by the we call it the barbershop area, risking life and limb there by Darby going down, crashing into that table, which caused him to split open the back of his head there. Can't say enough of this match. Really, really great. But yeah, I feel like nothing is going to be taken away from Darby's championship run, but it also shows day in, day out, to be a fighting champion, you have to be prepared to put it all on the line, just like Darby did. I think it elevated the belt there. We did see the titles change hands to MJF, but just going back to Darby Allin and what he did for that belt, it's just for the average listener or viewer, it's hard to put this on the line every week, day in, day out. But he was trying to prove a point that this is something that if you're willing to put yourself in that position to be the best, then you need to perform your best every week in, week out. And, it just shows a testament on how tough and gritty he is as a person and as a champion. Hopefully moving forward, are we going to see that with MJF? No, he's going to be the going back to the champion of old, where he'll probably defend it maybe once or twice within that month, and then leading up to a pay-per-view, which I think is smarter. You want to save your guys for the long run, for the longevity there. So I was disappointed. I wanted to see Darby's run, but like you said, this was all just just going to be inevitable because we did see his body give out against Sammy Guevara and then again against Mike Bailey there. So yeah, and then man, what else can you say about Darby Allin? But thank you. Put on some incredible matches. You made us see other wrestlers in a different light, such as and he's not my popular pick at all, but Sammy Guevara put in a hell of a match. Um, Speedball Mike Bailey, Brody King. I feel like Brody King is going to be a top champion down the line. We also got to see Pac, fighting for the championship. Lot of guys you wouldn't expect to get a title shot, but here comes along Darby and saying you're good enough for this belt, and I really appreciate that. And we'll talk about the aftermath there, but Miguel, what do you think about the match and your pick, MJF winning this one?
Yeah, it was a great, like I said, it was a great matchup by Darby Allin. He's been leaving everything on so to say, on the floor or on the line. Great fighting champion, but business decision all day, every day. You can read it from a mile away that this title change was going to go to someone else. Fighting sad enough that fighting champion isn't the only thing that's going to get you to the top, and there's a lot more ingredients that Darby Allin needs to figure out, but he found out the most and hardest ingredient. So now I'm excited for what's to come for him to come.
Yeah, that's the thing. Will he go after the championship? Will he do take a sabbatical, get better, and then maybe come back within a week or two? And it's a good point, Miguel, that you made. Like, what's next for Darby Allin in his pursuit of the AEW championship? Will he do it? Will he go somewhere else? And then what's next for MJF as a champion? I know we talked about predictions and whatnot. One of the biggest predictions that I think didn't happen was saying good afternoon. And if you guys go back to the video from last time around, and I think Miguel put the nail on the head too. That beep kind of caught me off guard as I was listening to our podcast, and that thing came out of nowhere. Beep. If you know what I'm talking about. One of the predictions was said that we were going to see the good afternoon come out, and it didn't happen. I think there's still illegal things happening with contracts and whatnot, but it doesn't say that hopefully they won't show up down the line, and it'll definitely be a new chapter, so to speak. But overall, this pay-per-view was really fun, really exciting. There's lots of action. The crowd was hot. Again, this is in the East Coast.
Can we talk about the ending on what happened there?
Oh yeah, I'm so sorry. Jesus Christ. Do you want to talk on that since you brought it up?
Yeah, I mean, okay, so we see Darby Allin getting stretched out, and typical MJ fashion, has to gloat about it, stays on top of Darby while they're kind of like about to send him off there. But we see Kevin Knight make the save there, so to speak. MJF runs towards the back, and then we see the camera pan on Kevin Knight's face, and it just went from happy to save you to I got something to say to you, Darby, and basically does the UFO off the top rope onto Darby on the stretcher. Jesus. Kevin Knight bounces off, lands on his feet, so athletic. And then not only that, he pretty much tips over the stretcher with Darby on there and just stares him down. And then just like, they pan over to MJF in disbelief, and that's how they end the show. I was at a loss for words, with Kevin Knight doing that. He had high praise for Darby leading up to the match, so that caught me off guard. And how will Darby respond is next. But then also, I'm thinking, where was Speedball Mike Bailey in all this? Did he even know? So, this Wednesday or maybe the following Wednesday, Kevin Knight has to address his actions to the AEW crowd there. and let us know what's up and what's going on through his mind, because he is out for something. He's out for Darby's head, and I just want to know why. Like, what's up with that?
Now, yeah, that's what I guess that's what's next. That was, I guess, literally that answered my question. What's next for Darby Allin? It's gonna be Kevin Knight. And maybe that's going to be the new program. I know Miguel mentioned programs and said new storylines. So hopefully, this is one of the storylines that that catches your attention, Miguel, in the next couple of weeks, maybe in the next month or two. And if there's anything else that stood out for you for this pay-per-view, and what your thoughts were.
Not really. Just a great overall pay-per-view. Like I said, I love how every storyline, from the details to the entrances to the endings to some of the surprises. It was a little bit more than what I was expecting in a good way. So really just looking forward to seeing the next event that they put on, but more so than anything, how much more these storylines keep developing over time over the summer. So we'll see what happens.
Cool. But overall, yeah, the East Coast crowd was great. New York was great, or Queens, New York was great. It was almost midnight for them when the show ended. Hopefully they'll come back. Usually they come back for Revolution here on the West Coast, where we'll be ready for that whenever that happens, because we would love AEW to come back to in the Intuit Dome or Staples Center. Or I'm sorry, it's not Staples Center anymore. It is Crypto Bank Arena.
It's always going to be the Staples Center.
It's Staples
always
Center.
the Staples Center.
Downtown LA. But anyway, so great pay-per-view. We loved it. We enjoyed it. We'll go back to the drawing board. If there's anything that you guys want to see that we could do better, that you guys feel like, hey, we kind of elaborated too much on some things, we'd love your feedback. Please let us know. And then we'll go from there, guys. And till then, please like and subscribe. Again, my name is Tony. My tag team partners, Miguel, Mondo. I don't know what side you guys are on.
No, you did it right.
I did it right. Oh,
Yeah.
beautiful. Oh, awesome. Again, happy Memorial Day to everybody out there. Again, Miguel, thank you for your service, my friend. And all your brothers out there. Thank you to them as well for the ultimate sacrifice. And we wish you guys a great day out there.
Thank you, man. Happy Memorial Day, guys.
Thank you, guys. And before we end it, Tony, you went 5 for 9. Miguel and myself, we went 6 for 9 on the main card.
It wasn't a good day for me, so I'll make sure I do better next time. My predictions will be a little bit more better. Until then,